Hello, hello, and welcome back to Password. We're hoping to meet Oswin, talk about things. Personally, I'm hoping for more Thanatos time, but that might just be me. Sliding the door open, I was greeted to the familiar green of his lab. There he was, sitting at his desk. Oswin? He didn't look up, continuing to type away at his computer, all the way up until I closed the door behind him. Me, yes.
I was wondering when you'd come by, Dave.
Oswin, what happened today? Did you know that was going to happen? Why would you volunteer yourself? Why would you volunteer Roswell as well? 'Cause he's on death's door anyway, right? And would anyone really care? Uh, I stepped forward up. I stepped forward up to the desk, and he just swiveled around to look at me.
Which question did you want me to answer first?
I can't. Wow, It's been so long, I don't remember how I used to voice Oswin. I'm sorry, guys. Not every day you get to talk to someone like that. Not every day you find out you're about to make what sounds like a hostage exchange either. He grunted, looking me over.
Do you handle, do you feel I handled that poorly?
I don't know. I've never had to negotiate like that before.
I had a feeling that this might happen, and I took the path that seemed to benefit us, to benefit us best.
By sacrificing yourself?
Make no mistake, I've been alone in a room with Memphis before. Chances are, of everyone present, I am the most likely to survive an encounter with him. Plus, the Vault offers me some level of protection from the other two at the very least.
And Roswell was just because of how long he's got left?
In part. Roswell is deceptively
Slippery? That's what that word is?
So should the need arise, he may have the best chance of slipping away. Granted, slipping away in the mortal sense is also on the cards. And he offers the least to lose, should that happen.
And you're fine with that?
Doesn't matter. We hardly have any other options.
Maybe I should turn up the volume. Yeah, let's go with that. He stood slowly, wandering over to the shelf, and started to look over it, as if searching for something.
As for the other question, only what you knew. That we were going to have a visitor. Thanatos was fairly quiet about the specifics.
And you stopped Benson from firing his gun?
Yes, a relatively easy thing to accomplish, all things considered. I ask. He obeys.
Because he's loyal to you.
You could also call it love.
But what if it was Jack or Memphis?
It was a gamble I was willing to take. I hardly had a say in the matter. Anyway, Dominic would have shown up regardless. And in hindsight, listening to the rat paid off. There's no sense in worrying about the alternative.
And in 2 days, you're just going to go?
In 2 days, I will take Roswell with me, and we shall go meet with Memphis. Ideally, Roswell will come back to deliver the news as to what the escape route is, and I shall remain there to ensure Memphis doesn't hunt you all down.
Is there... What I mean is, would Memphis...
Kill me. It's possible.
And you're just okay with that?
More than okay.
He retrieved something from between two books and looked at it. The briefest smile crosses his face. What is it?
Just a photo.
He places it in an envelope and seals it, placing it in his pocket. A photo of who? For who? Even given you just sealed it up.
It's another gamble. I feel like I'm on a winning streak at this moment.
Sounds like you've been you've been hanging around with Roswell too much.
Maybe I have. The boy sure does like his risky gambits. I will admit.
So what's your plan for the next couple days? If you're just going to go willingly, then I don't know.
Now, that's a question. I have no clue.
None at all?
Getting you off the mountain is my primary concern. Choosing to arm myself and the like doesn't get me more insurance than that you'll make it out alive.
I'm worried that I'm being too hopeful underneath all the nerves and worries, that this is all just a big trap.
To be expected. Did you have any more questions?
Not really, but I don't know. Have you heard anything like that about, like, seeing things without the vault? You know, as if you didn't need to use a password, or having Thanatos do the thing to knock you out. I only ask half-heartedly, but I could see how he immediately tensed up. What?
Has this been happening to you?
I'm not sure. He moved quickly, ushering me into a chair and ducking into the side room. He was only gone for a few seconds before he dropped down in the other chair and started examining my eyes. Am I sick?
I don't know yet. I'd rather not take the chance.
This seems a little overboard, don't you think?
Being able to use the vault without actually using the vault is something that Florenzi and I had theorized could happen.
What does it mean?
It means that either the experiment is going very well, or horribly wrong, and there's no way to tell.
Meaning, I'm not going to die, am I?
No, Dave. You're not going to die.
He sat back, setting aside the few things he used to examine me, and breathed through his nose.
Morphic resonance is, in theory anyway, is just recalling of survival instinct. Remember.
Right, from a past life, with the Volt or whatever, right?
Very good. Now let's say that you were able to do this at will, rather than when you were in danger, or the receptor in your brain that fires off stress.
This sounds like a thing that, if I said was, that thing was, wait, what? This sounds like a thing that, if I said what that thing was, you'd get annoyed at me.
You're right. It does sound like that, and I assure you that it can't happen. It's not how it happens. It's not meant to be how it happens.
But...
Are you positive that you're experiencing what you've experienced were visions and memories, and not just hallucinations?
I don't know yet. Thanatos seemed to think that what I experienced wasn't nearly traumatic enough, so it doesn't line up.
In a way, I'm relieved if cautious.
About? All I can say is that it was the strangest dream I've ever had. I've had in a while. Yeah, okay.
Strange in what way?
Strange in the way where I felt like I wasn't controlling my own body, but I was looking out of the same set of eyes.
Understand that there isn't any readily available source we can pull from to figure this out. The idea that your survival instinct transcends time and space is already considered pseudoscience.
Seems like science enough to me, given its work so far.
Indeed.
We sat like that for a little bit before Oswin started to fidget. What is it?
Nerves, mostly. Don't worry about it.
That's literally the line people say that causes more worry to happen. Let me... The music just looks really quiet. Give me one moment. Did I just not... Oh, no, the music is like the way that it is. Okay. It just looks low on my levels, so I'm turning it up. I hope that's fine.
I've been resolved that my life has been in a constant flux between if I'm actually alive or dead for a while. Or at least, ever since things fell apart.
You seem pretty alive to me.
Living and being alive aren't the same. A big part of me gave up the day Reginald died.
I thought it would have been the day the medical trial went wrong.
It was the same day.
Oh, okay. A coup de grace? Is that phrase? Whatever.
After watching so many die by my hand, failing to find an answer for Reginald's condition in time was fitting punishment enough, I feel.
That really wasn't a great day for you, was it?
So many things went wrong that day. My masterpiece of a vaccine failed. Reginald died. Florencia!
Florencia? Oswin's face scrunched up briefly. It was hard to tell if he was upset or tired, but his tone shifted to be softer in a sense.
It was an eventful day for my family.
What happened to Florencia?
Outside losing her brother, along with seeing me crumple, she came out reluctantly unscathed, though.
Come on, you can't keep trailing off like that.
Let me gather my thoughts, boy. I do wonder how she's faring now. If she knows about what's going on here or not.
I'd say you can. I'd say you could call and check, but, well, we're still under the jammer, right?
3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago she was here, and as luck would have it, you just missed her when you lot arrived on the bus.
And she just left?
Presumably. I don't think she'll be around after Thanatos seemed to imply as much.
Why is it that every time his name comes up, I'm wondering whether or not we can trust him?
Trust that you can't trust him. Or, at least, that'll work out safer than believing anything he says.
You don't think completely trusting him is a good idea?
Of course not. He knows things that no person should have a right to know. To that end, it's hard to really know how far to trust him. We're just playthings after all.
I don't like the sound of being just a plaything. Dave. You're the main character of a video game.
Luckily for you, he seems to have taken a liking to you, or perhaps you're also just his current favorite toy.
Sometimes I wish he'd leave me alone. Other times I'm thankful that he's at least giving me something to keep my friends alive. Could always stop if you want. I don't know how long he'd been there, but he stepped out from the shadows on top of the desk. What have you two been talking about? Nothing. Well, nothing important anyway.
What do you want, Thanatos?
I'm bored. Did you want to play a game?
Go entertain him, will you, Dave? I should focus on getting this done.
Whatever that is, anyway? Don't bother brushing him off. I'll just tell him if you don't.
Fine. It's my will. I'm making a few adjustments is all.
As in, when you die? That sort?
That sort, yes.
If you don't mind me asking, if you do die, what should we do?
Survive. Everything I own, everything that I was, I'm leaving to one person anyway. There's no need to concern yourself over anything else. If I have my way, it'll be a clean transfer.
Is it me? It's not you.
You need not worry yourself over it. Benson shall be the one to ensure that everything that needs to happen does.
And if Benson dies too? Flancia will. No.
That's correct.
Come on, Junior. He's not going to be of any use to you. Besides, like I said, I'm bored. All right, fine. We left Oswin to his work, and Thanatos guided me through the passage until we came out to the other side. I didn't know what sort of game Thanatos perhaps wanted to play, but something told me I wasn't going to like it. Oh, that song looks a bit normal in terms of how loud it is. Here, I'll turn it down a little bit. The basement was cold, and we stopped in the middle of the room with the lights off. So,
I've been thinking a bit.
about?
Something you said this morning. About the thing you remembered.
I thought you said it was a dream.
That's the thing, isn't it? It has to be.
So?
Let me ask you a question. You been feeling alright after I put you under last time?
Last time, like what you did yesterday in the lab?
Right.
I guess so.
No head hurting, no seeing things.
No? Should I?
You tell me.
Thanatos climbed down my shoulder and wandered over to his room, and I followed behind. Why are we here?
I want to check something.
I watched as he wandered over to the input panel, looking up to it. His attention went to the door next. The whole time he stayed quiet. What are you checking?
I've been left wondering how different dreams and memories are from one another once again.
Once again?
We've had this conversation before, but let me catch you. Let me catch you back up. When I look through my memories, it's like seeing everything on a single line. A lot of big gaps from where I'm offline.
Okay, as the gaps... are the gaps always the same, or...?
No. Always start the same, but things have been wildly different after I've made it known I remember. I remember my master. I remember watching him die. I remember what he asked me of me. And when he gave me my name, I remember how I was back then compared to how I am now.
He turned to face me, shaking his head.
But there are gaps, noticeable gaps, where there shouldn't be. But there are other times where the pattern breaks, and I awake somewhere else, long after the vacation has ended.
I don't think I get it.
When the pattern breaks, how do I know I'm not looking at a memory, but instead, a dream?
Do you sleep? You're a robot, so I'd assume you'd need to recharge at some point.
It's not the same as sleeping, but it may as well be. And so, I'm forced to once again consider what these things are. Are they dreams or memories?
Well, if they're memories, they'd be traumatic, right? That's what you said this morning.
Oi, I'm serious.
So am I. Do the same rules apply or not?
Of course they don't. I'm the Vault itself, not someone coded into it.
I gestured at him, confused. So how do you not know if something's a dream? You seem to just know everything, so why is this tripping you up? Besides, if we've already had this conversation before, why are you wasting my time with it now?
It's not a waste. I'm legitimately confused.
You're a robot.
Whose memories seem to show signs of tampering, not this time, but in a previous loop.
Well, don't look at me. I don't know how that could happen.
There's one thing that it could be, but the only one that would know is my master.
And that is?
If he asked me to delete parts of my memory for him.
And you just do that?
Of course. From the looks of things, he's only wanted small sections removed, but I don't know why.
Then ask him.
It's not that easy. Talking with him lately has been difficult. With you all around, finding the time to slip away and have a bit of a chit-chat is hard.
I'm guessing because you don't want us to follow?
Pretty much.
I sighed. My head was hurting, but not from anything he'd done to me. I was just stressed from things earlier and confused about what he was getting at. That's when I told myself anyway.
Which leads us back to this check I want to do.
Which is,
Get comfortable.
I don't. Oh. Okay. Okay. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth before a sound assaulted my ears, a high enough pitch that I felt myself black out. I felt myself lose consciousness long before I hit the floor, and initially I wondered how hard I'd landed on the floor. It was strange being conscious while being unconscious, or being able to actively think things while surrounded by an endless void. Okay. You know what? We'll end the part here. I think that's good. Yeah. I'll see you around, everyone.